Welcome back to PH.d TV, and today we'll be going over Cremo's Blue Cedar and Cypress Cologne. I want to go ahead and say thank you for watching, and I also want to say thank you to Cremo, who is sponsoring this video. And if you've seen my other videos in the past, which I will put up here, I did announce that Cremo would be sponsoring several fragrances of mine in the future. So with that being said, here we are. And today we'll be going over Blue Cedar and Cypress. All right, we will go over the box first. And I also do believe that this is Cremo's #1 sold fragrance. I may be wrong, but I want to say it is. And as always, I went over a very detailed box review in my Spice and Black Vanilla video, which I will put up here somewhere. Therefore, I will only go over what makes this box special to the fragrance we're talking about today. And I'll always mention, I'll always mention that even though it does say cologne, it is actually an eau de toilette. It does read that it is a classic woodsy scent with notes of lemon, peel, cypress, and cedar. And as always, the Cremo fragrances always have their notes up on the box. And as I just kind of read, the top is lemon leaf, middle is cypress, and the base is blue cedar. Aside from that, it is a traditional Cremo box. And in case this is your first video with me, I do like to show people that these boxes always have a protective coating on the inside that sometimes does make it a little difficult to get the fragrance out, but I would much rather have a protected fragrance than one that's chipped when I get it. All right, and moving on to the bottle. And I'll keep this one pretty simple and short as well if you haven't seen any of my other videos, or if you don't know already. Cremo does keep a very traditional and very uniform fragrance bottle line. Every bottle is the exact same except for the liquid and the label. This little white square is the only thing they ever change out other than the liquid itself. Every bottle does have the Cremo raised font as well as the same atomizer that does come with a cap that is very well placed. It is snug. You almost have to tug at it. Wow, this one's on. There you go. But as you see, very snug, clips in place, pretty freaking good. And as I've said before, these atomizers are pretty great for, again, a $23 fragrance. That doesn't mean they're cheap, but you can usually go in pretty hesitant on wondering what the quality will be. And these atomizers are pretty solid to begin with. Don't know if that was in frame. All right, so offhand, I'm just gonna flat out say that this is easily the most masculine scent thus far that I've tried from Cremo from their entire fragrance line. And if you haven't seen any of my other videos, I will link them up every so often during this video just so you can see the other reviews. But my Spice and Black Vanilla review, I went as far as to say that the fragrance was very unisex and that you could lean one way or the other depending if you're a man or a woman, and depending if you are a man and a woman, people will subjectively find the more masculine notes versus the feminine and vice versa. And I said with the bourbon and oak that that's a very masculine one, but it's very sweet. So with that being said, it is a very sweet masculine, which to some people that may not float their boat, floats mine, but again, it all comes down to subjectivity. And the Silver Water and Birch one by far is probably their most unisex, even though I do feel as if that is their highest quality one thus far. Whereas this one, the Blue Cedar and Birch, is 100% their most man-specific one so far. And I will be putting up Fragrantica's top accords right here just so you can see what exactly people have said, what people have associated it with, such as it being woody and aromatic. I definitely get the woody and the spicy, vibes from it personally. And if I'm being honest, I gave this a full wearing. In fact, it's my scent of the day today. I'm wearing it now. I'm gonna be honest, it is a monster. And I've just come to the conclusion that Cremo just does something with their fragrances. I don't know if they pound them with oils or good oils or what they do to just make this fragrance just go. But these last and last and last and last all day, all night. But it's very aromatic. But going back to my main point I think I was getting at a second ago, I got off track. I just like the scent that much. When it comes down to the wood notes, because obviously cedar and cypress, once it starts drying down, because this, in terms of the top notes with the other fragrances from Cremo, the top notes are actually pretty top heavy for a good 10 to 15 minutes. And then you're in that middle base note for a solid 5 hours. And on my skin, I soak up fragrances pretty quick. I'm not oily, therefore I drink fragrances up pretty quick. But these last on my skin for 5 to 6 hours, and they keep going even on a skin scent for 9. But I gotta be honest, this one went straight into the base note after the first hour. But in that base note, it's still projected for hours on end. So where the other ones project based on their middle note more than the others, this one projects on the base note. And it smells like someone threw you into the biggest pile of wood in the world. Ironically, my fiance, right before she left when I was filming this video, she said that I smelled like a bonfire. Now granted, I didn't ask her if that bonfire was on fire or if that was just because of all the wood scent, but she said I smelled like a bonfire. That was her quote. I'll ask her later if she just pops on in. But yeah, this is a very wood heavy scent. It's kind of ridiculous. It's definitely potentially one of the more woodier scents that I have. And I don't mean woody as in a green scent. I do have some fragrances that are very woody, but they fall under those green notes, the kind that does give it that very herbal type vibe to it. This, as I said, you shove someone into a giant pool of wood chips, and that's not a bad thing, but I do feel as if I was surprised after smelling it to find out this was, you know, Cremo's #1 selling fragrance. Because even though I like this a lot, I think it's great. I'm honestly gonna say it is a great fragrance. If you like that real woody essence, this is for you 100,000%. But I had 3 people smell this on me specifically just to get their thoughts and opinions. My fiance, my buddy Zach, I didn't have him smell me, but I walked by him and he made a comment. And his wife Valerie, who made a comment as well. And none of them said it smelled bad, but it took them off guard in terms of it almost offended them. It didn't hurt their feelings, it didn't hurt their nose, but saying I smelled good was not the first words spoken. So quality fragrance, but I don't know how high the compliment factor is, which is surprising because the Fragrantica reviews and the likability factors between the love and the like and the dislike show this to be absolutely monstrous in terms of just how good it is in terms of likability. Now granted, I think I might know the reason that, and that is because once again, I think it might just be a thing with wood fragrances, is that I might be just a pinch too young for those types of fragrances. So after I got talking to my fiance, and I got talking to his wife, and I got talking to my buddy Zach, who even tried a sample of this on just to get his opinions on his skin chemistry, because why not? We gotta make sure we're giving the best authentic review here. We all kind of came down to the fact that this is probably for older people, for an older gentleman type. The kind of man who he's tried his fragrances, but he's found his signature scent, and that is under the woody accords. When I sprayed this on, at first, I told myself, again, the very first time when I was doing a first impression of this in my home, I smelled it, and to me, the first 5-10 minutes of this fragrance is nothing but this real heavy gin and tonic with lime smell, which I love some gin and tonic, but in terms of a fragrance, I wasn't really knowing how to vibe with it. I liked it, but when it kept going for 10 or 15 minutes, I was like, okay, let's move on from this gin and tonic alcohol smell. Followed by that is the cypress and then the cedar, and you're just gonna smell like wood for the rest of the day, which that's when it gets really good. You almost get this sappy wood smell throughout the day. So again, I don't know how appetizing that sounds in terms of a fragrance, because it does smell good, but it definitely caters to an older audience, in my opinion. I feel that a man who is in his 30s going onward, 35 easy, actually I'm gonna say 35 minimum onward, will be right at home with this. Whereas someone like me who's in his mid-20s, I feel that I'm just a little young for it. Again, I'm not trying to de-age myself or, you know, downplay my idea of what someone my age would smell like, but I do feel like there's a time and place for us all to smell certain ways and things like that. So with that being said, I'm gonna say this is an older gentleman, but again, I think it smells great. This is definitely gonna be one of those, you're gonna have to smell it, give your own opinion, give it a shot. Whereas the other ones, such as the spice and black vanilla, the bourbon and oak, and the silver water and birch, I could tell you all day and night, you're gonna like this if you like that. But I honestly don't know how to express this one other than for an older gentleman, but you're probably gonna have to try it out yourself to justify whether you like it or not, if it works with your skin chemistry, because it might just be my skin chemistry. But for this being the #1 sold Cremo fragrance, from what I understand, I was kind of shocked at the results. But with that being said, the longevity and projection, just like all the other Cremo fragrances, this was a monster, an absolute beast. Again, 7, 8 hours, 9 hours on the projection and longevity. In terms of projection, I'll give this a 8 out of 10 because it just projected really hard for the first 4 or 5 hours before it started going down remotely and officially started dying away into a skin scent at that 7th hour, and the 9th hour it was a very solid, beautiful skin scent. And I went to bed before I even saw it go away. So 8 out of 10, actually 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 on that. In terms of longevity, 9 out of 10. But in terms of smell, in terms of the scent, I am going to actually give this scent a 9 out of 10. And I know from how I was talking about it, that's a very high score, but that's only because I'm gonna throw in a new scoring system for its universal appeal for all ages of men, for men's company. I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10 because I do see the appeal, but in terms of mass appeal, I don't know if I can rate it that high. But in terms of what I would wear this for, I would easily say wear this for an easy date night, jeans and polo type vibe, maybe even jeans and a blazer. Great going out on a vacation cologne. You just want to douse yourself with it, which you might not have to. Don't do that. You might end up offending people with it that way. And that's the thing with a lot of these Cremo fragrances, except for the Silver Water and Birch fragrance, is that these are very everyday fragrances. These are not signature scents unless you want it to be. I don't see these being that you just completely dedicate yourself to and say that these are the only ones you'll ever wear again. But if you're looking for alternatives to other fragrances like the Spice and Black Vanilla, Spice Bomb Extreme, or the Bourbon and Oak, a great alternative to a bourbon Bed Bath & Beyond fragrance that they have. In Silver Water and Birch, that's obviously going to be a Creed Silver Mountain Water type flanker, not flanker, but clone, we shall say. Whereas this one, I don't know if this smells like anything specific, so you will stand out, because I can't name a cologne offhand that will stand out as, hey, this smells like this and that smells like that. But at the same time, with that being said, you will be running a risk at potentially throwing some people off, like it did my fiance, my buddy, and his wife, which again, none of us said it smelled bad, it just smelled different. This scent is not bad, it just smells different. But I think this could easily be an everyday fragrance. And as I said, with age, I would say you have to be 35 onwards for it to be normal smelling for you. I do feel like someone my age, which again, I know I'm my age and I'm probably gonna go through this bottle, like it, enjoy it, things like that. But in my opinion, it smells for an older, more mature guy. A guy my age can wear it. You'll just smell a little older. And that's not just coming from me. My fiance and my buddy's wife both said it smelled like an older person. So if you don't take my opinion, take the opinion of two ladies. And would I buy this again? I would definitely buy this again in about 10 years, maybe 12 years. Or I would buy this for my dad, or I would buy this for my uncle. Buy this for someone who again is age appropriate. This ultimately comes down to age. But again, I am not going to tell you what you can and cannot smell like. You do you. If anything I say on this channel, know that these are my opinions. If you find a scent that you like, if you find that a unisex smell smells incredibly masculine, you wear it. Ladies, if you're a lady watching this and you find a masculine scent that you like, wear it. I'm not gonna be one to tell you what you can and cannot do. This is strictly off my opinion, and I fully believe this is potentially for an older gentleman. And that's my last Cremo review until further notice. Thank you so much for watching this little series of the Cremo reviews. And Cremo, if you're watching, thank you so much for allowing this to happen. Thank you so much for allowing me to advertise you. Thank you for your sponsorship. And if you liked what you saw, everybody, please like and please subscribe down below, and I'll see you next time.